After 60, one of the biggest kidney mistakes may be hiding in the healthiest corner of your plate, not in soda, not in candy, not in fast food, but in the vegetables you still trust every day. A spinach smoothie you drink because it feels clean, a baked potato you eat because it seems harmless, a glass of beet juice because someone said it helps blood pressure, a thick tomato sauce you made at home, or a bowl of leafy greens everyone online calls superfoods. They all look healthy, but if your kidneys are already weak, your potassium is high, you have had kidney stones, or your lab numbers are no longer where they should be. Some of these everyday vegetables may quietly become a burden, and that is what makes this so dangerous. Your kidneys may not warn you loudly at first. They may only whisper through tiredness, swollen ankles, heavier legs, or a body that feels more drained than usual. So before you eat another healthy plate without thinking, let's look at 5 vegetables that may silently stress your kidneys after 60, and 4 gentler choices that may help make your meals lighter and safer. And the first food may surprise you because it is sitting in almost every American kitchen. You see it in pasta, you see it in soup, you see it in sandwiches, you see it in salads, you see it in meals that look clean, colorful, and heart-healthy. I am talking about tomatoes. Now, let me say this clearly before anyone gets worried. A few slices of fresh tomato are not usually the problem for most people. A fresh tomato on a salad or a small slice on a sandwich is very different from a big bowl of thick tomato sauce. The problem often begins when tomatoes are cooked down, reduced, canned, or concentrated. Tomato sauce, tomato paste, canned tomato soup, ketchup, thick red pasta sauce. When tomatoes become concentrated, the potassium inside them becomes more concentrated too. And after 60, that matters more than many people realize. Your body needs potassium. Your muscles need it. Your nerves need it. Your heart needs it. But potassium must stay in the right balance. When the kidneys are healthy and strong, they help remove extra potassium from the blood. But when kidney function becomes weaker, especially in people with high blood pressure, diabetes, rising creatinine, or a lower estimated glomerular filtration rate, potassium can begin to build up. And when potassium rises too much, it can affect the rhythm of the heart. That is why a meal can look perfectly healthy and still be too much for someone whose kidneys are already struggling. Think about a retired man who has decided to take better care of himself. He stops eating fast food. He avoids soda. He cuts back on fried foods, and every weekend he makes homemade pasta sauce with tomato paste, canned tomatoes, olive oil, and herbs. He feels good about it, and honestly, who could blame him? He's cooking at home. He's not eating greasy takeout. He is not eating junk food. But over time, he begins feeling weak. He gets tired more easily. Sometimes his heart feels like it skips a beat. When his doctor checks his blood work, his potassium is higher than expected. And he is shocked because in his mind, he was doing everything right. That is the point. After 60, the danger is not always the food that looks bad. Sometimes it is the food that looks healthy but is used too often in a form that is too concentrated. So, do you need to throw away every tomato in your kitchen? No, not necessarily. This is not about being scared of food. This is about knowing the difference between fresh and concentrated. If your kidneys are being watched, you may need to use less tomato sauce. You may need to avoid large servings of tomato paste. You may need to be careful with canned tomato soup or ketchup if they appear too often in your meals. Instead, try using roasted red bell peppers, garlic, onion, basil, parsley, lemon juice, or herbs to bring flavor without depending so heavily on tomato products. Sometimes, the smallest change in the kitchen can take a surprising amount of pressure off the body. And the second food is even more familiar. For many Americans, this one feels like home. It is warm, it is soft, it is comforting. It shows up at dinner, at restaurants, at Thanksgiving, at family gatherings, and on plates all across the country. I am talking about potatoes. Now, potatoes are not evil. That is not the message here. The problem is that potatoes can be very high in potassium, And when your kidneys are not filtering as strongly as they used to, that potassium can become harder for the body to manage. Many people think the only dangerous potato is a French fry. So they say, well, I do not eat fries anymore. I bake my potatoes now. I am being healthy. And yes, baking is better than deep frying in many ways. But for kidney concerns, the issue is not only the oil. The issue is potassium. A baked potato can contain a large amount of potassium. Sweet potatoes can also be high in potassium. Mashed potatoes, roasted potatoes, baked potatoes, and sweet potato casserole can add up quickly, especially when they appear often or appear together in the same meal. Picture a grandmother at a family dinner. She has been trying to eat better. She skips the cake. She avoids the soda. She passes on the fried appetizers. But on her plate, she has mashed potatoes, sweet potato casserole, and a few roasted potatoes. Everything is homemade. Everything looks normal. Everything feels like family. But later that night, she feels weak. Her muscles feel heavy. Her heart starts beating strangely. She becomes lightheaded. And at the hospital, the doctors find that her potassium has risen too high. That is what many older adults do not realize. Homemade does not always mean kidney safe. Natural does not always mean safe in large amounts. And comfort food can still be too much for a body that has changed with age. So what should you do if you love potatoes? First, do not panic. The answer is not always to remove them forever, but you may need to handle them more carefully. If your doctor or renal dietitian says potatoes can fit into your diet, one method is to peel them, cut them into small, thin pieces, soak them in water, throw away the soaking water, and then boil them in fresh water. This can help lower some of the potassium compared with baking a whole potato. Portion size also matters. A small serving is very different from a large baked potato, and it is not a good idea to put mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, and roasted potatoes all on the same plate if your potassium needs to be watched. As folks often say, a little may be fine, but too much of a good thing is still too much. That saying is especially true for the kidneys. Now, the third food is one of the biggest surprises because it has such a healthy reputation. People drink it for energy. They use it for circulation. They call it a detox food. They believe it helps clean the blood, support the heart, and make the body feel younger. I am talking about beets. Beets have that deep red color that makes them look powerful. They look like something that should be healing, and for some healthy people, beets may fit well into the diet. But for adults over 60 with kidney concerns, beets need caution. The issue is not only potassium. The issue is also oxalates. Oxalates are natural compounds found in some plant foods. When too much oxalate enters the body, it can bind with calcium and form crystals. For people who are prone to calcium oxalate kidney stones, or for people whose kidneys are already under stress, this may become a problem. But here is where many people get caught. The biggest issue is usually not a few bites of cooked beets. The bigger issue is concentrated forms: beet juice, beet powder, beet shots, daily beet smoothies. When you juice beets, you can drink much more than you would normally eat. 1 glass of beet juice may contain an amount of beets that most people would never sit down and chew in one meal. That is why a drink can look healthy and still be heavy on the kidneys. Think of your kidneys like an old coffee filter. When the filter is new, water moves through easily. But when the filter is older, tired, and partly clogged, pouring thick liquid through it again and again makes the job harder. That is what concentrated juices and powders can feel like to weaker kidneys. More potassium, more oxalates, more minerals, more pressure. And the hardest part is that people often drink these things because they are trying to help themselves. A 68-year-old man sees beet juice promoted online. He has high blood pressure. His creatinine has been slowly rising, but he wants to do something natural. So, every morning he drinks beet juice. He feels proud. He believes he is detoxing. But after several weeks, he feels more tired. His legs cramp. His lab numbers do not look the way he hoped. And he finally realizes that what works for a young athlete with strong kidneys may not be right for a 68-year-old body with slower filtration. That is why you should be careful with every detox trend you see online. Not everything called a superfood is right for every person. If you enjoy beets and your doctor says they are allowed for you, a safer approach may be eating a small amount cooked or roasted. But if you have kidney disease, high potassium, rising creatinine, or a history of kidney stones, do not make beet juice, beet powder, or beet shots part of your daily routine without professional guidance. They may not be detoxing you. They may simply be giving your kidneys more work to do. And now we come to the fourth vegetable. This one may surprise even more people because it is green. And when people see green, they often think, this must be safe. It is used in salads. It is blended into smoothies. It is added to omelets, soups, wraps, and health bowls. Many older adults eat it because they believe it gives them iron, vitamins, and anti-aging support. I am talking about spinach. Again, spinach is not a bad food for everyone. For many healthy people, spinach can be very nutritious. But if you have kidney concerns, high potassium, a history of kidney stones, or your doctor has told you to watch your kidney numbers, spinach deserves caution. Why? Because spinach can be high in potassium, and it is also very high in oxalates. This becomes especially important when spinach is used in large or concentrated amounts. A few leaves on a plate is one thing. A large green smoothie every morning is something else entirely. Many people take one big handful of spinach, then another handful, then they add banana, almond milk, beet powder, celery, fruit, or green powder. They blend it all together and drink it quickly. To the eyes, it looks clean. It looks natural. It looks like pure health in a glass. But for weaker kidneys, that glass may be carrying more potassium and oxalates than the body is ready to handle. This is why healthy should never mean unlimited, especially after 60. A food can be nutritious and still be too much when it is used too often, in too large a portion, or in a concentrated form. So, what should you do with spinach? Do not become afraid of every green vegetable. That is not the point. But if you have kidney disease, kidney stones, high potassium, or weak kidney numbers, be careful with daily spinach. Smoothies. Be careful combining spinach with other high potassium foods like potatoes, tomato sauce, beet juice, bananas, or certain milk alternatives. And if you have had calcium oxalate kidney stones, ask your doctor or renal dietitian whether spinach should be limited. The goal is simple. Do not assume that every green food is safe in any amount. Your body after 60 deserves more respect than that. Now, after hearing all of this, you might be thinking, good grief, what vegetables are left for me? And I understand that feeling. Nobody wants to sit at the dinner table feeling like everything is forbidden. Nobody wants food to become a source of fear. The goal is not to take joy away from your meals. The goal is to make smarter swaps because the right replacement can help you feel full, satisfied, and safer without making your kidneys work so hard. The first better choice is cauliflower. Cauliflower is not flashy. It is not dramatic. It is not the kind of food people brag about at the grocery store. But for kidney-friendly eating, cauliflower can be one of the smartest vegetables to keep in the kitchen. It is much lower in potassium than potatoes. It is also naturally low in sodium and phosphorus. That makes it a gentler choice for many people who need to watch kidney health. And here's the best part. Cauliflower can replace one of the most comforting foods in the American diet, mashed potatoes. If you like something soft, warm, and filling at dinner, try mashed cauliflower. Steam it until tender. Mash it until smooth. Add a little olive oil, garlic, pepper, parsley, or lemon. It can still feel creamy and comforting, but it does not give your kidneys the same potassium burden as a large plate of mashed potatoes. This is what kidney-friendly eating should feel like. Not punishment, not fear, not bland food, just a smarter version of something you already enjoy. Cauliflower can be steamed, roasted, mashed, added to soup, or lightly sautéed. It absorbs flavor well, so you can make it taste good without drowning it in salt or heavy sauce. One small swap repeated often. That is how better health is built. The second better choice is red bell pepper. Red bell peppers are often treated like decoration. People slice a few pieces into a salad just to make the plate look pretty. But for kidney-friendly cooking, red bell peppers can be much more useful than that. They are relatively low in potassium compared with many heavier vegetables. They bring natural sweetness, color, vitamin C, beta-carotene, and antioxidants. But their biggest advantage is this: they can help replace tomato sauce. This matters because many people stop eating fast food but still use tomato sauce, tomato paste, canned tomato soup, or ketchup almost every day. They believe they are eating clean. But for weak kidneys, those concentrated tomato products may be too much. Roasted red bell peppers can give you color, sweetness, and rich flavor without relying so heavily on tomato products. You can roast them until the edges soften and darken slightly. You can blend them into a sauce. You can slice them raw into salads. You can sauté them with garlic and olive oil. You can add them to soups, stir-fries, or stuffed meals. They make food feel bright and satisfying. And for many older adults, that matters because food still has to taste good. A plan you hate will not last very long, but a simple swap that still gives you flavor has a much better chance of becoming a habit. The third better choice is cabbage. Cabbage may not look exciting, it is not fancy, it is not expensive, and most people do not call it a superfood. But cabbage is one of those quiet foods that can be very helpful in everyday meals. It is naturally low in potassium, it is low in phosphorus, it is low in sodium, and it can help make your plate feel fuller without putting the same kind of burden on your kidneys as potatoes, tomato paste, beet juice, or large spinach smoothies. Cabbage is also practical. You can slice it thin for a crunchy salad. You can cook it until soft for dinner. You can add it to soup. You can lightly sauté it with garlic, onion, pepper, and a small amount of olive oil. You can make it warm and comforting without needing a lot of salt. Cabbage also belongs to the cruciferous vegetable family, just like cauliflower. These vegetables contain natural plant compounds that may help support the body against oxidative stress. Cabbage also provides vitamin C and vitamin K, but here is one important note. If you take blood-thinning medication, especially warfarin, ask your doctor how to keep vitamin K foods consistent in your diet. Do not suddenly eat a huge amount one day and none the next. With medication and nutrition, consistency matters. For someone who used to eat potatoes every night, cabbage can become a very useful replacement. It gives you volume, it gives you warmth, it gives you something to chew. And when cooked with garlic and herbs, it can be surprisingly satisfying. It may not be glamorous, but as many older folks would say, it gets the job done. And sometimes that is exactly what good food should do. The fourth better choice is garlic. Garlic is small. It is cheap, it is easy to find, and it may already be sitting in your kitchen. But for people over 60, garlic has one major advantage. It creates strong flavor without salt, and that is a big deal. Too much salt can raise blood pressure. High blood pressure is one of the major causes of kidney damage over time. When pressure inside the blood vessels stays high, the tiny blood vessels inside the kidneys are placed under constant stress. Day after day, this can weaken the kidney's filtering ability. So every time you reduce salt while still keeping your food enjoyable, you are helping both your heart and your kidneys. Garlic can help with that. When you crush or chop fresh garlic, natural sulfur compounds become active. That is why fresh garlic has such a strong smell. But the real daily benefit is simple. Garlic makes healthier food taste better, and that matters more than people think. Many older adults struggle with kidney-friendly eating because the food feels bland. The doctor says, reduce salt. The family says, eat healthier. But when dinner tastes like cardboard, old habits come back fast. Garlic can help make the change easier. You can use garlic in soup, in sautéed cabbage, in mashed cauliflower, in roasted red bell pepper sauce, in fish, in chicken, in beans, in vegetable dishes. Even a small amount can make food smell warmer, taste richer, and feel more satisfying. Here is a simple tip. Crush or chop fresh garlic and let it sit for about 10 minutes before cooking. Then add it to the point your food over moderate heat. Try not to burn it black because burned garlic becomes bitter. And remember, garlic is not a replacement for medication. It is not a replacement for your doctor, but it can support better food habits by helping you reduce salt without losing flavor. That is important because your heart and kidneys work together. The heart pumps blood, the kidneys filter blood. When blood pressure is high, blood vessels become stiff and the heart works harder. The kidneys also feel that pressure. So when your meals support better blood pressure, lighter eating, and less salt, your kidneys benefit too. Now, let's bring the whole picture together. The message is not that vegetables are bad. The message is that after 60, your body may not handle every food the same way it did at 30. Fresh tomatoes may be fine for many people, but tomato sauce, tomato paste, ketchup, and canned tomato soup may bring too much potassium when used too often. Potatoes may feel comforting, but baked. Potatoes, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, and large portions can give weak kidneys more potassium than they can remove. Beets may be praised as a superfood, but beet juice, beet powder, and beet shots may be too concentrated for someone with reduced kidney function or a history of kidney stones. Spinach may be nutritious, but large spinach smoothies, daily spinach salads, or green drinks may bring too much potassium and oxalate for some people with kidney concerns. On the other side, cauliflower can help replace potatoes. Red bell peppers can help replace thick tomato sauces. Cabbage can help make meals fuller and gentler without adding too much potassium, phosphorus, or sodium. And garlic can help you reduce salt while keeping food delicious. This is not about fear. This is about wisdom. Your kidneys have worked for you for decades. They have filtered your blood through thousands of meals, thousands of stressful days, thousands of times when you were dehydrated, ate too much salt, took medication, or ignored small warning signs. At this stage of life, your kidneys do not need perfection. They need attention. They need you to pause before a meal and ask one simple question. Is this food helping my kidneys carry less burden, or is it making them work harder? That question can change the way you eat. It may help you use less tomato sauce, eat a smaller portion of potatoes, skip the daily beet juice, stop drinking large spinach smoothies, add cauliflower to dinner, use red bell peppers for flavor, cook cabbage with garlic, and reach for herbs before reaching for more salt. These changes may seem small, but health after 60 is often protected by small choices repeated consistently. One meal at a time, one ingredient at a time, one better decision at a time. Your kidneys may be silent, but silence does not mean nothing is happening. Every meal is a message you send to your body. And starting today, you can send a different message. I am taking better care of you. Before we end, I want to gently remind you of something important. This video is for general education only. It is not meant to scare you, and it does not replace advice from your doctor. If you have kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney stones, high potassium, or if your doctor has ever told you to monitor your creatinine, estimated glomerular filtration rate, potassium, phosphorus, or sodium, please speak with your doctor or a qualified renal dietitian before making major changes to your diet. Everybody is different. A food that is helpful for one person may need caution for another. And taking care of your health does not mean following advice blindly. It means listening to your body, asking better questions, and getting professional guidance when you need it. If this video helped you understand your kidneys better, please like it, share it with someone over 60 who may need to hear this, and subscribe to Senior Food Coach for more simple, practical, and easy-to-follow food guidance to help you stay healthier, stronger, and more independent as you age. And remember this, getting older does not mean your body has stopped improving. Your body can still adapt. It can still recover. It can still respond to better choices. You do not need to change your whole life overnight. Just begin with one better meal, one gentler habit, One kinder decision for your kidneys, your heart, and the body that has carried you through so many years. The choice is still in your hands. I hope you have a peaceful, healthy, and energetic day. And as always, take a deep breath, my friend.